Now, it's time for the award-winning PC Game Reviews by GameSHOUT. The GameSHOUT PC Game Reviews.
Welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. You're listening to the PC Playground. And this is Captain Maverick, your host. Along with me are Andy Hodges, SexyJosh, TrickNeal, Vicious, Soulrift, Jadri, and the whole GameSHOUT crew. We are just absolutely brimming today. We have so much fun in store for you today. The PC Playground, we give you the best game reviews in the world, only the games that matter. Tonight, I've got a hands-on preview for you of Need for Speed Most Wanted. And then, Jadri and Soulrift, they're going to bring us a review of Age of Empires 3. And I know that's one a lot of you have been waiting for and listening for. Age of Empires, what a kick this game is. And I'm looking forward to seeing more about it. And then, our rock and knockdown review of the night, it's Soulrift and Jadri coming back. Only this time with Civilization 4. Ah, that is such a blast to play. Yeah, I'm glad I got a chance to play it. I was having a little trouble getting that thing to load with that ATI video card. It seems that they're having a few issues with some ATI video cards and Civilization 4. So if you load Civ 4 and run into that error problem, relax. It'll be okay. Everything will work out fine. You're just going to go to the Firaxis site and hit their support, and they're going to have a whole list of exactly what to do to go and fix it. So I was able to play with my, ATI video card. I think it's about time I start looking for an NVIDIA video card, guys. I may have to check that out. All right, let's go ahead and start out, as is our wont, with our top, I was going to say top story of the night, with our top preview of the night, Need for Speed Most Wanted.
It's the control with us. It's the control with us. Let's roll. Do we control? Can we control? 'Cause when we come through, you're gonna fall. Let's roll.
Oh, hang on for the ride. I have a need for speed. Let's roll. Yeah, we took a test drive of the newest offering of the Need for Speed franchise, Need for Speed Most Wanted for the PC. Now, if you're any kind of a racing fan, I would suggest downloading the demo and having a look at this one. This is also our demo of the week tonight, too, I guess, because we got a chance to play Need for Speed in this hands-on opportunity. Yeah, it was a blast. I enjoyed it. Need for Speed Most Wanted. It's the latest evolution in the series, and really it's an attempt to kind of bring the last two games into one and focuses a little more on the police chases. And well, a couple weeks ago we got a chance to run it through its paces. The game features three main gaming modes. And fans are likely going to be very familiar with these gaming modes. All right, you start your driving career, or you play a challenge series, or you jump right into the quick race. The career mode, basically, that's a story mode. You're a new street racer in this well-known town of Rockport. You determined to be on the blacklist. You want to make it to the top of the blacklist. That's the top 15 racers in town. And you open the game, you're challenging the last driver on the list, number 15. But this jerk tampers with your car and causes you to lose. Well, then the jerk takes your beautifully tricked out car. You remember, you're racing for pink slips, okay? And he challenges the rest of the pack of 15. He makes it right to the top of the list with your car. Now you're stuck with this less desirable car, and you've got to build back up. So that's what your goal is, revenge. The only way to do it is to start racing. You've got to work your way back up to the blacklist. You've got to beat the jerk, get your car back. Now, this not only is, it's not going to be quite as easy as it sounds, okay? You got to work your way back up through this list of 14 really good drivers, again, to challenge this top-ranked nemesis. Now, you're going to participate in a variety of race types, and, well, to make it onto the list and move up the list, you got to be really good at all different types of races. You're also going to have another added challenge, and that's to increase your reputation within the community. How do you do that? Well, you successfully flee from the police. How else? And that's also easier said than done, because you can't outrun Motorola. Well, the challenge mode, it lets you race through about 68 challenge events. They alternate between pursuit challenges and toll booth trials, or toll booth time trials. The pursuit challenge, it's just like it sounds. You race through these hazardous obstacles while you evade police pursuit. The toll booth time trial, it's a speed challenge where you have to make it through the toll booth checkpoints within a certain time. You add time to your race, allowing you to actually finish the race before the time runs out. And these challenges, they get tougher and tougher as you progress up the ladder. So, the quick race, of course, just like it sounds, it's, click of a few buttons and you're in the race. Just remember to keep your eye out for cops, because they're everywhere in this one. I think that the replayability of this game rests, as usual, on the multiplayer mode. The PC and the Xbox versions, they do allow you to race with your friends and with strangers alike. You also have the opportunity of being able to kind of filter out those that don't finish races, and so it kind of makes some of that a little easier to deal with by getting rid of the jerks. You do have the usual multiplayer race modes at your disposal. There have been a few tricks added to the mix just to keep things interesting, and remember that as you move up the ladder, the single-player game, you've amassed a garage full of cars that you can choose from to take out in your multiplayer race. And this is what I like, the cars. It's not, it is really hard to choose which one you want to use next. Need for Speed Most Wanted, it's a fast-paced, arcade-style racing game. It's added a few more goodies to the mix. For example, Speed Breaker. This is a Matrix style of slowing down the action so that you get a little greater ability to execute these hairpin turns a little more efficiently. But remember what I said? Look out for the cops. They're making their presence known throughout the game. As you're racing, you may become the target of a traffic stop for your wicked ways. Now, I ask you, are you the kind of person that's just going to pull over and take the arrest? Or are you a roadrunner? Likely, you're the latter, and now the chase is on, and you must lose the cops that are on your tail. It's not going to be that easy. Look, I'm going to warn you guys. This game is a blast, but don't take this attitude with you out into the real streets, because real people get hurt real bad in cop chases. But since this is a game, go for it. And remember, as you escape the law, your reputation among those other racers, it's going to climb. But now you've got to manage your heat level, which is that reputation level, the level of heat that you take from cops. So now you've got to manage this heat level. With no heat, your reputation isn't going to climb very much. With too much heat, there's going to be so many cops on you, that's not good for your rep either. Just remember that when you have a variety of cars, you can more effectively manage your heat level. But if all your cars are hot, then you might have to lay low for a while and let the heat cool down. When you get into a chase, keep your head about you. Make sure you're familiar with your surroundings. Situational awareness is the key to success in Need for Speed. As you gain more heat, local law enforcement officials will employ a few more interesting chase cars to take you down. And if you're fortunate enough to be nabbed by the long arm of the law, okay, unfortunate enough, you're going to be fined. Your car's going to be a ward of the state, impounded for a period of time, but you can get it back. But you've got to pay storage fees, and they're basically a percentage of the car value. Look, overall, this has the look of a really fine racing game. I think that fans of Need for Speed are going to be very pleased with the improvements. The PC version is, well, it was my favorite version, but I can't wait to play the Xbox 360. Okay, check out the demo. I'll see you guys at the races at the upgrade when you upgrade to the full version. Now, let's take this show to a higher level. Let's go to Age of Empires. I can say the word Age of Empires 3 with our review by Jadrian Soulrift.
After months at sea, we arrived in this strange new world.
We shall claim this territory in the name of the Empire.
The deadliest battle I've ever
As we prepare for another day of battle, I pray that I will live to see the end.
We will do whatever it takes to make this new world ours.
Age of Empires 3, rated T for teen, in stores now.
Now, you know, when companies put out sequel after sequel of essentially the same game with minor graphical updates, some fans start to get cranky and complain. Now, the shift from the original Age of Empires to the second incarnation of the series, Age of Empires 2, you know, it was like switching from Internet Explorer to Firefox. It's way better, sure, but it's essentially the same experience. Now, if you want a whole new Age of Empires game, Age of Empires 3 is it. It's like taking the jump from civilization to colonization. Age of Empires 3 is focusing its empire onto the formation of the New World colonies. Now, you begin the game with guns, you end the game with guns, and there's plenty of different guns in between, but gone are the adorable priests that convert your enemies' armies, gone are the radical age changes that allowed your riflemen to roll over their spearmen, and gone, ironically enough, are the spawnings of thousands of town centers all across the map. See, Age of Empires 3 has this new home city feature. So in addition to being the main town center on the map, as you progress from mission to mission, or even from skirmish to skirmish, you develop your home city. You get these experience points for beating the endless throes of AI-controlled opponents, and these allow you to unlock graphical features and power-up cards. So after playing the game for 7 days straight, your buildings are all repainted from brown to blue, and you get some nice fountains in the street. You know, wow, such rewards. No, really though, it's the power-up cards that you want to get. As you play the game, you get these deployment points, and then you can deploy reinforcements. Now, some of these you can use again and again, like a jolt of resources, and some of them you can only use once, like a sudden deployment of troops. Now, these cards can be very handy in getting out of sticky situations. Maybe you've been ambushed and you didn't prepare the right sort of soldiers, you know, but remember, you can only use them once. Also, some of them give you permanent bonuses, like improving the rate at which your sheep fatten up for the slaughter. Now, you have a limited deck of these cards that you can bring into each game with you, and as you go up levels and gain experience points, you can unlock different cards and put them into your deck. It's sort of a weird Magic the Gathering style addition to the game. I'm still a bit iffy about whether it was the best way to go, because you really do have to play a lot of single-player skirmishes to get an ideal deck, and I think you take the same deck with you into a multiplayer game. Now, the single-player campaign has a series of 24 scenarios divided into 3 acts. Morgan the Black and his descendants help the Aztecs resist the conquest by Spanish conquistadors. The French...
Conquistadors.
Thank you.
Yes.
The French fight the British in the French and Indian War, and you join Simon Bolivar as he leads revolutions in South America. You also get plenty of skirmish options and multiplayer options with custom games to play against the AI and your friends. Now, frankly, the first thing I did when I installed this game was to play a skirmish. I just wanted to get into the game. I wanted to see everything that was available. And frankly, after an hour and having won against 3 AIs, I kind of felt like I had seen the whole game. At that point, I really didn't have much inclination to play again, but, you know, I did go through another skirmish just to make sure I hadn't missed anything. I hadn't. The game isn't spectacular. You gather your units, you build your buildings, you advance through 5 tiers of technology, you wipe out your enemies with vastly overwhelming numbers. Tactics be damned, this is a game of the almighty dollar. But Jaddery, you actually tried out the campaigns. What did you think of them?
Well, I have to say, compared to your review of the game, as it seems you really didn't like the skirmish mode a whole lot. the campaign mode just beats the pants off it. I was playing that for hours after, just hour after hour after hour. The story is very well done. It's got all these character voices that just pop right in, and it's all very in-depth, almost like the Warcraft 3 campaign mode, how it kind of just sucks you in and you're playing mission after mission after mission. And the neat thing is, the story, each story has its opening, a little mid-story chunk, and maybe sometimes 2 or 3 little mid-story chunks, and it's all sort of weaving this plot line. And each little subdivision of the campaign is broken into three main categories. They all kind of weave together. Morgan Black, you later play in the second campaign as a great descendant of Morgan Black, and I've not really gotten to the third one yet, but I'm assuming it's just going to be a continuation.
Now, did they do the same sort of home city thing with the cards in the single-player campaigns? Like, did you carry the cards from campaign to campaign?
Yep, that was one of the main things. They give you your own capital city there, and you're in charge of that too, where you have to set up your deck and bring that with you just to run against all the missions. You'd get your set of cards, buying your own, and then you can choose out these powerful upgrades and just help you out against the AI.
So yeah, well, I guess there is a bit of a clash here. I guess the single-player campaign was significantly better than the single-player skirmish experience. So if you do pick up Age of Empires 3, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to play it multiplayer, but if you're looking for a good story-based campaign, it sounds like it's a great game. Jadri, what kind of a rating would you give it?
I'm going to have to give it 7.5.
Alright, so he's going to give it a 7.5. I'm going to say the skirmishes are only worth maybe a 6 out of 10. And so, you know, a bit of a clash between the two modes. They must have put in a lot more effort with the storyline and, like you said, the voice acting. And they really didn't put anything interesting or, you know, beyond just the same build units, kill guys in the skirmishes. Hopefully the single-player storyline will really save this game. Back to you, Mav.
Well, guys, thank you. That's a great review. I appreciate you getting into the in-depth detail. All right, we are going to come back with more. This is Civilization 4 review right after this.
Margot?
Hal, wow, finally.
Yeah, it was football. Hard to find a time bear that worked for both of us, you know?
I know, my work schedule opera is pretty Pinot Grigio crazy lately.
Tell me about it. You know, I've never been so bratwurst busy before.
Sure, but vegan your job as a cement mixer sounds so tofu interesting.
I guess. Definitely pork rinds has its moments.
Everyone's looking for something, but not necessarily the same something. That's why Yahoo Personals has all sorts of ways to make sure that both of you are on the same page.
So did you, pro wrestling. Have any sleeper hold trouble finding this place?
No, your Vikram yoga directions were lotus position totally clear.
Great.
From compatibility tests to advanced searching and matching, Yahoo Personals will help you quickly and easily end up across the table from someone who speaks your language.
So I could really Monster Truck Rally go for a bite. Do you like Italian?
Oh, anything. I'm ensalada mista easy.
Good, I'll bring my truck around.
Take the new personality and love style test on Yahoo Personals Premiere. Better first dates, more second dates.
Yahoo! And welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. This is the PC Playground, and you are with Captain Maverick and the rest of the GameSHOUT crew. Look, we have absolutely... look, I love this game. I had a good time with it. And I'm looking forward to seeing how much Soulrift and Jadri got into it also. I think this game is addictive. I don't know. You'll have to decide for yourself. And that is Sid Meier's Civilization 4. Check it out, guys.
Since 1991, Civilization has been the most recognized and acclaimed PC gaming franchise ever created. Renowned for its hyper-addictive turn-based gameplay, Civilization allowed players to create or conquer vast regions of the world, from the dawn of man through the space age and beyond. And now comes Civilization 4 with its all-new game engine, 3D graphics, extensive modability, and a stunning list of upgrades and features. It begs the question, is it possible for a PC game to be too addictive? If you ask these Civilization 4 players, the answer is yes.
By the time I got to the industrial age, I was a full-blown junkie. There were times when I'd play the game 2-3 days straight, wouldn't get up to eat, wouldn't get up to go to the bathroom.
You didn't go to the bathroom for 3 days?
I said I didn't get up.
Turn this off, please.
Welcome to Civilization Anonymous, the last refuge for many Civ 4 junkies. They're your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers, and yes, they are hopelessly addicted.
One more turn. One more turn.
I thought I was able to handle the power. I've always been a kind and gentle person. But when I was finally able to split the atom, I built me a bomb, and I dropped it on every who got in my way.
And if anything ever, the urge really starts to get to you,
They come from all walks of life. Doctors, lawyers, politicians, all with one thing in common. They get caught up in the strategy, and they just can't seem to quit on their own.
I was a big fan of the religious aspect of Civ 4, big fan, dating back to the church in Rome. Did you know that they spoke Latin back then? There's a whole language that they spoke.
I was living with my mom. She dropped me off here.
Latin. I love it. I love Latin. I love the sound. I love all the X's. I love that J-Lo. She's Latin. She's got what all the kids are calling today, she's got that much back, or mucho espalda, as we say in Espanol.
Word on the street is that Civilization 4 may well be the most addictive PC game ever. If you think this will never happen to you,
Got shame. I feel ashamed.
you better think again.
Hi, my name is Sid.
Hi, Sid.
And I'm a Civilization 4 junkie.
Well, Sid Meier's Civilization, a turn-based strategy game that challenges you to build and expand your empire to take over the world. Well, you get to choose between 18 different nations and just go face-to-face with all kinds of the famous leaders of the world and just duke it out, or who knows, just use science and just to win that way. There's just so many different ways to win. Now, it's the demo mentioned there. We've got some Civ junkies already, and I'm afraid to admit I've become one, and I think Soulrift has got me beat, though.
I can attest to that. This morning around 11, well, last night I guess, around 11 p.m. I was done writing up my reviews, and I said, well, okay, let's just load up Civ 4, and I'll just play a couple turns. And so I was
one more turn.
Yeah, well, at around 1 a.m. I said to myself, okay, just one more turn on, and then I'll just save the game, and because you can just save it at any time and just come right back, and nothing's changed. But then it was 1:30, and that's about the time I stopped watching the clock. And then the one more turn sort of kept going, and then I had finally, one of the races, the Aztecs really pissed me off. They declared war on me for absolutely no good reason. I was just amassing troops on their border, not to attack them, but to go through their territory and attack someone else. And it's really not my fault that my culture was expanding so radically, because they happened to build right next to my capital city, where all my wonders were stacked. So their cities were about to convert over to my regime, and they had to do something. So they declared war on me, the jerks. So of course I picked up my riflemen, and I marched into their town, and I was about to wipe out their horse archers, but the game crashed. So I played till 2:30 this morning.
How many hours would you say you've accumulated with our good friend Civ 4?
Thankfully, it's not like one of those online MMORPGs where you can type /played and see that your character is 34 days old after having got them on game for 1 month. I don't know how many hours I've spent on this game. I did have a very fun multiplayer marathon with a friend who brought his laptop over, and we were playing for about 10 hours straight. We got about halfway through the game, but the multiplayer on Civ 4 is incredible. This is one of the things that have really changed in Civ 4. The original Civ games, they've had the solid single-player experience, but the multiplayer has always been a bit iffy. They had CivNet, it didn't quite stack up. The Civ 3 had really finicky multiplayer. Civ 4, the multiplayer is fantastic. One of the greatest options, especially for players like me who love the co-op stuff, is you can actually put people on the same team and then you research technology together. So if I was researching the wheel and I got it, then both me and my friend got the wheel. So between the two of us, we could research 2 different technologies at a time. If one of us built a wonder, we both had the advantages of the wonder. If one of us got a strategic resource, we both had a strategic resource. It was just a really great way of putting the game together. You know, we'd have our separate civilizations, but we were really working together as a team to conquer the world.
Wow, and it looks like the game has some amazingly good modding tools out, letting you make new units, maps, scenarios, and civilizations even.
Yeah, I mean, I
haven't
looked into all the modding tools just yet. I have spent a bit of time in the map making tools. At any time, you can just take your game, and they've really turned this over into the hands of the user. They've realized that cheating is not really an issue when you're playing a single-player game because you're only cheating with yourself. So really, at any time in the game, you can just go into the map maker and make slight or even major alterations to the random map that was generated for you. I know one of the major criticisms with Civilization 3 was that you'd get stuck with these critical strategic resources. Like, if you just did not have oil, you did not have tanks, and everyone else might have tanks, and everyone else might be destroying you with their tanks, and it just wasn't fair because the only oil research on the map, only resource on the map was like right next to the enemy's capital city, and there was no way you'd ever get it. What you can now do is you can open up the map tool at any time and make slight alterations. Like I said, you can give yourself oil, you can give your enemy oil if it's not fair that he doesn't have any, you can take his oil away if you're feeling particularly nasty, and at any time you can take the game that you've been playing, modify the map, modify the units, change civil technologies, change everything you want, and then save it as a scenario and send it to your friends and say, hey guys, try this out, you know, I've got you stuck in this situation, see if you can get out of it.
Neat. And it looks like they've really amped up the research abilities now too. I know the older games they used to have, you'd have to have 4 of an item to get the next research, and I think they've dropped it down to 2 now, so each little research item there gives you a better increase. Everything gives you a certain little buff, and nothing just does nothing.
Yeah, they really did revamp the technology trees. They've changed it around so that you don't always have to have the prerequisites. For example, a technology may have 2 prerequisites, and you only need one of the 2 to be able to research it. And sometimes you can jump, you know, several paths down the ages. You don't have to research every single technology. You can go right to the end. You can skip a whole bunch. And also, what's really nice is you can click on a technology further down in the tech tree, and then it will automatically research all the technologies you need to get there.
Nifty. I've seen also you could, if you had outdated units, you could always just take your unit and say, alright, train up to a machine gunner now from being a clubman.
Yeah, you can just upgrade your units at any time. It just costs money.
Well,
and what's the score?
Well, I give the game 10 out of 10.
9.
And that's it.
This is GameSHOUT Radio, the #1 talk game station in the world. Visit GameSHOUT.com for more info. GameSHOUT. GameSHOUT.